elites and the rest of America. Do you understand, Joe, how in coastal enclaves, D.C. enclaves, and academia, they think, yeah, man, we stuck it to them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Darn NFL view hayseeds. You darn you rednecks. you stupid flyover country. That's what they think of us. Yep. I know people hate when I use the term, but that's what they think. I'm mocking them. I'm not speaking for myself. Please understand. I'm a Northeasterner, but I'm down in, Florida. Florida's obviously the South, but there's a lot of Northeasterners here. But where I've always felt at home, to be quite candid, folks, is in the South and in conservative states where the conservative values reign. Oh, that's definitely, by the way, if the Media Matters is listening, that is definitely racist. Oh, my gosh, you like living down in the South with conservative value? You must be. That's the point. Yeah, you totally don't do you see what I'm saying, Joe?
Yeah.
They are so insulated that they don't even take the time to go down south, talk to someone in Dothan, Alabama, or, Okeechobee, in the county right next to me, and say, hey, why do you guys, respect the Second Amendment and the God-given right to freedom? What is with you in the church? What's this God thing about? They think they're winning. Mm-hmm. They think a brand that is selling a product, NFL Entertainment, that needs eyeballs to continue. Mm-hmm. Eyeballs matter. Money talks and BS walks, Daddy-O. And the money comes from eyeballs. When eyeballs watch, they sell advertising based on eyeballs.
Yep.
This show makes money for sponsors based on eardrums. Thanks to you, we have eardrums. And while the NFL still has eyeballs, they don't have the eyeballs they did. And let me tell you something. When you're selling a product at a multi-billion-dollar valuation and eyeballs start dropping and kids' eyeballs stop dropping and the next generation starts dropping their eyeballs, and favorability for your product, which the NFL used to have positively in droves, is now in the tank, you got a problem. You got a big problem. So I asked Mr. Beinert, with all due respect, because I don't know the man, how is this a win? Now, going back, you may say, well, Dan, that's not what he was talking about. He was talking about these companies cutting ties. I haven't even gotten to the rest of the paragraph yet. He was talking about these corporations that cut ties with the NRA. For those of you who missed the story, and an obvious disclosure, I work at NRA TV. And by the way, I'm terrible at promoting my stuff. I am there every day at 5:30 Eastern time. 5:30 Eastern. Just go to NRATV.com. It's free. Check it out. The show will start on Monday, but I've been doing quick promos the entire week. So please, on Monday, folks, I'm begging you, please check it out. You're going to love it.
Clips look great, by the way, Dan. They
Thank
really
you,
look
buddy.
good.
I appreciate that. We're working on it now. We wanted to get it out, so the technical side has been a bit of a, but please, 5:30 p.m. Eastern time, NRATV.com. I'll be there every day. We got a lot of surprises coming for you in the future, so please check it out. We start on Monday. Having said that, though, so disclosure, I work for NRA TV, not specifically for the NRA, but it doesn't matter. These companies cut ties with the NRA, and Politico themselves, Politico, one of the more left-leaning websites out there, acknowledged that a brand survey report conducted right after these companies cut ties with the NRA. Mm-hmm. Joe, where do you think their brand acknowledgement or brand satisfaction went, from positive or negative after they cut ties? Let me give you a hint.
Yeah, negative, Dan.
I'm putting a big thumbs down to poor Joe here as he's watching me.
Yeah.
They turn negative. How is that a win? You have a bunch of conservative Americans, to take it back out to 30,000 feet, who feel like their culture, their rights, their right to speech, their right to protect themselves, their right to privacy in their personal items, their right to be free of unlawful government search and seizure. They feel like their rights are under siege, and they feel that United Airlines, Hertz, MetLife, and other companies that join this cutting ties with the NRA nonsense, that you're now part of it. Now, for those of you who missed it, what they did was, and this was the stupidity of this, Joe. These companies were not sponsoring any of the NRA's ideas. And I want to be clear on this. I said it yesterday. I'll say it again, or I said it the day before yesterday, whatever. It doesn't matter. I absolutely respect these companies' rights to have a public opinion on the Second Amendment or anything else. I don't agree with a lot of it. Many of them happen to lean towards the liberal view that the Second Amendment shall be infringed, which it shall not if you actually read it. But that's fine. Unlike you, I respect the First Amendment, even for corporations. And I will still buy your product. But not when you take a furtive action against the liberty of us in an effort to hurt us. And what they did was they had these discount programs. So if you were an NRA member, you could go to Hertz and rent a car and you'd get whatever, 10% off. And they'd be like, well, we're going to cut our ties with the NRA. Okay, you took action instead of just making a statement. I'm done. Goodbye. I'm not renting from there again. Sorry. I mean, unless because I'd never want to be a hypocrite with it. Unless I absolutely had to, it's the airport, that's it, and there's no other way. They are now, if any discretionary purchases from them, Joe, bye-bye. Finita la musica. End of the story. I'm done. It's over. Same thing with these other companies. And, I don't want to keep hammering it, but for those of you who listen to, we had an experience with it on our own show. Mm-hmm. It's a good company, but we're not going to take money. Sorry, I'd rather not sell one spot on this show ever again. I would rather go full subscriber than to do that. Sorry. So, again, don't email me about, hey, well, what are you doing? What am I? We already did it. Believe me, you have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. None. It is a full-blown assault on conservative talk everywhere. But, folks, these are not wins. Biner thinks this is a win. This company, their brand loyalty down. The NFL, brand loyalty down. Eyeballs tuning out. And remember this. Conservatives never, ever forget. Never. Just ask Target. Remember Target? Well, you know what? We're going to let men in the women's room in our stores. You sure about that? Conservatives were like, we're good. Thanks. Listen, we're all children of God. We get it. But I don't know. I have daughters. I'm not so crazy about that. Just ask Target what happened. Foot traffic in their store, their stock price. Now, think about the reverse, Joe. When liberals boycott people, but again, because remember, the folks, take it out to 30,000 feet. Liberals boycott because they want to take rights away from others. That may give them a temporary joy, but the emotion is not enough to invoke a response that will be nearly as profound as the anger and fear generated from conservatives who feel like their rights are being taken away. Don't ever forget that. How do we know this? We've seen liberal boycotts. We've seen them backfire in absolutely spectacular fashion. Mm-hmm. Remember LL Bean? I don't even remember the darn boycott, folks. The liberals have had so many stupid boycotts. All I know is that they wanted to boycott LL Bean for something because they took a stand on something. And they had like their best sales day ever. Even I went and bought a flannel shirt. I'm a Northeastern guy. I've wore a flannel shirt my whole life. Joe has. Mm-hmm. I've seen him in them. Joe likes his flannel shirts.
Oh, yeah, babe.
Joe's an old school guy. Joe, he looks like Paul Bunyan when he needs an axe and a blue ox, right? But Joe, I don't wear that, but I bought one because conservatives saw a company under assault for doing nothing other than acting as a free market company in America and staying out of it. Remember the spectacular fail, Joe, of the Chick-fil-A boycott?
Absolutely.
The Chick-fil-A boycott, man, if let me tell you something. If you were a Chick-fil-A owner, you're begging for another boycott. I will never forget when the Chick-fil-A air quotes your boycott, because it was, I mean, really, you could not have been, it was a boycott. It wasn't a boycott.
Oh, it was crazy.
I went up to, you remember this, right? I went up to Frederick County, Maryland. Yeah. There's a Chick-fil-A, I think it's right off 270. And I don't know what, I was running for office, and you go up there and you want to be out there with people, and I was glad to take part in it. Folks, I was starving. I couldn't even get a chicken sandwich. I think they were out of I think it's the first time ever Chick-fil-A was out of chicken. Chick-fil-A was buying McDonald's burgers to sell burgers because they had I'm kidding. Of course they were. But they had nothing left. There was no chicken. They had wiped out every chicken in America. There were no chickens. They had to start from scratch, from like an Adam and Eve chicken, to rebuild the chicken stock because conservatives who didn't even like chicken were eating chicken. People allergic to chicken went out and bought chicken.
Yeah.
People who hate chickens were buying chickens. Conservative chickens were online getting chicken sandwiches from Chick-fil-A. The cow from the Chick-fil-A commercial, eat more chicken, was online eating a chicken sandwich. You can't win. How does Biner think this is a win? We're winning the culture wars. Donald Trump was elected president because of your culture war. How are you winning? And this is it. They mistake short-term joy. Look what we did, Joe. Oh, we gave them the double-barrel middle finger. We showed those conservatives. They canceled an NRA rental car discount. Folks, nobody joins the NRA for a rental car discount. Nobody. I'm a lifetime member. I didn't even know there was a rental car discount. I worked there. I didn't even know. No, I'm serious, Joe. I had no idea. I've rented car. I had no idea there was a rental car discount. United Airlines. Oh, I was going to get a United Airlines card. Credit card? No more. No mas. No thanks. You're going to lose. The snowflake pajama boys are going to forget about this tomorrow and move on to their next fight. Pigs in a blanket. Fry them like bacon. You know, what do we want? Dead cops. When do we want them now? They'll move on to Occupy Wall Street. Inequality. You know, communism rules. Capitalism sucks. They're going to move on tomorrow. But the eyeballs are never coming back. It's over for me in the NFL. It's over with these companies. To corporate America, listen, we have proudly, thankfully, and humbly, thanking you, and I mean this, I can't say it enough, an unbelievably large audience now that I think has even taken Joe and I by surprise.
Yes.
We are very honored by it because Joe and I are just two normal dudes who really believe in this stuff. Mm-hmm. And we never thought this was going to become what it is. But I know we have corporate America listening. I know because I get emails. Some people, I obviously don't all. You are committing corporate suicide. You may get a few tweets from a few snowflake pajama boys drinking hot cocoa in their mommy's basement that works for Media Matters saying, "Hey, Hertz, nice job. Guns kill. Don't support murderers. I'm going to rent from you tomorrow." You may get those tweets. You may get 100 of them. I've got news for you. That dude doesn't have a job. He works for $10 an hour for Media Matters. He's never rented a car in his life. He only Ubers. He probably doesn't even know how to drive. He sits in his PJs all day watching tentacle porn for all we know. He's never left his house, and he will never spend a dime with your company. But the law-abiding coal miners and Second Amendment supporters and electricians and architects and average working-class Americans who just want to be left the hell alone will never, ever forget what you did. They're the ones showing up to the airports for the union meeting who have to rent a car. They're the ones showing up to the airports to meet with the boss for the first time in a new satellite office. They're the ones renting your cars.
Mm-hmm.
This is corporate suicide. What are you thinking? You I'm joking, but whoever made this decision should be internally arrested for business malpractice in the umpteenth degree. You know, I always talk about Joe. I'm like, when I need Joe to be the fictitious criminal, I'm like, Joe, you're guilty of felonious mopery in the umpteenth degree. This is business felonious mopery in the umpteenth degree.
Yeah.
Now, again, I just want to sum this up, but this portion, because I'm still not done with the Biner thing, by saying it's a free market. Unlike the tyrannical far left that's taken over the Democrat Party, you are free to do whatever you want. I'm just telling you, so am I. I'm not buying your crap anymore. I don't care. I've told this audience 1,000 times, you are unbelievably great to our sponsors, but we don't have to do sponsors. I don't want to go to a subscription, but I will if that's what we have to do. Matter of fact, I thought about it, Joe. I may not even go to subscription because I folks, I say this with, believe me, I mean this. This is not said with any sense of, because I know this comes out wrong, but I was debating with my wife, like, we may not even need to go sub. I bet if we just kept a stable base of sponsors, but cut it in half, because the show is unfortunately expensive to put on now that it's so big. We have to buy space and maintain the website and stuff. We're happy, but it gets expensive. I said to my wife, I'll bet if we just did like a voluntary tip jar, we could support the entire show. No problem at all. I'm not worried about, I don't care. Remember, I say to the sponsors, we are so glad to have you, and they are great companies. They are. We vet all of them. They're terrific companies. But we don't need anything.